You know, with all the chaos going on in the world, we're hearing from lots of people, they're just wondering about the rapture. When is it going to happen? You know, will we be left behind? You know, and just all those questions. There's some of you who didn't grow up with a rapture, you're probably wondering, what on earth is a rapture? Well, let me kind of just summarize it. In some Christian belief about the end times, the rapture is where all those people who are Christians will literally disappear from the face of the earth. It's really a terrible time for those being left behind. In fact, I want to just read an excerpt off of a very famous book by Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. It's Tribulation Force. It's a piece of fiction, but it's based on what many Christians believe to be biblical truth about the rapture. In one cataclysmic moment, millions around the globe disappear. Those behind face war, famine, plagues, and natural disasters so devastating that only 1 in 4 people will survive. Odds are even worse for the enemies of the Antichrist and his new world order during the 7 most chaotic years that the planet will ever see. So that's kind of the way a lot of people see what they call the rapture. I'd like to talk a little bit about some Bible passages that have to do with the rapture. And the key one is Luke chapter 17. There's a very, very famous passage that people often will quote on this, where it says, Jesus says in verse 34, I tell you, on that night, 2 people will be in one bed. One will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding grain together. One will be taken and the other left. And I actually grew up in a church that taught that you don't want to be left behind. But there's a challenge to this. If we keep reading, we discover something. Is the disciples ask, where, Lord? In other words, where are they taken? And Jesus responds, where the corpses are, the vultures will gather. Which it appears from Scripture you want to be left behind, because taken is you wind up on a heap of dead bodies. And again, most scholars believe this passage doesn't refer to the rapture, but actually refers to when the Romans come and destroy Jerusalem. In other words, taken means killed by the Romans, and left behind means the survivors. So if that's true, then I personally would like to be left behind. This passage just doesn't refer to Rome, but basically Christians, wherever they face persecution, they face the danger of being taken. And so what does it mean that you are wise and you sense the times, so you're left behind and you survive?